My name is Tim Behling, founder, executive director of Successteam, a 501c3 nonprofit organization that specializes in making a difference in the lives of our youth. Most times, I get the question of, hey, don't you mentor young people? Don't you mentor high school students? Don't you mentor youth? The answer is yes. But to be honest with you, we do a little bit more than that. We build leaders. We craft a safe space for young people to not only become them best selves, but to do it amongst the ecosystem of others who have the same vision, dreams, and goals. We provide them access to only things their wildest dreams can imagine. We provide them a safe place to ensure at all points in times, if there's ever a question mark of where they can go, they remember that where they can be. We allow them to be their best selves and we give them permission to do so. We spend countless days, hours, months, and years to ensure that our young people are able to realize how great they truly are by reminding them on a daily basis the value that they bring to the table.
Tim, what were your expectations going into this week?
Expectations, honestly, was to ensure that every young person who went through the process to get here received the experience they deserved. To ensure that every young person who worked hard to be in the space created memories and had a lifelong time frame of things that they'll never forget, moments, experiences, right? Exposure to what life can be, but then also, I think, turning the mirror. Because coming in here, we knew they were great, but we wanted them to provide a space for them to remind themselves that they are too, and to accept that like, hey, understand that you are worthy. And in Successteam, throughout SLA, we want to make sure that we confirm it.
What was the preparation like, man?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that, we started preparing officially on paper for this year's program about 9 months ago, 10 months. The framework mentally was birthed last July after our 5th annual. And then from that standpoint, we really digested areas of improvement, how we wanted it to look, the team that we needed to build, but then also the experiences we wanted to provide, time, consultations, guidance, mentorship myself, right? Reaching out to community members, bringing them in, asking them, can you help us make a difference in the lives of our youth? And ensuring that, again, while building a program, we also built, right, the framework of a welcoming system that received our young people in the most proper manner and allowed them to be groomed for something great. So while we were grooming our young people to receive something great, we were grooming a program to be exactly what they deserved.
Receiving them in this scenario is so important.
Yeah.
I love how you use that word, receiving them.
Yeah.
It was very clear. We interviewed 12 students already and got the rundown of the entire program and what stood out to them the most.
Yeah.
And I can tell you they felt received. How did y'all do that?
I think that as a leader, as an adult, as somebody who is doing something bigger than self, the most important thing you have to remember is to not be entitled enough to think that they should just be happy to come somewhere, to think that they should just be happy the program exists, to think that they should just be happy they got accepted. It's like acceptance is something worthy of a validation. They deserve to be here. Now, how can we ensure that when they get here, it's worth their time? Because I think that for them, being the next generation of leaders who are going to change the world, we have to actually ensure that the customer service piece, the gifts, are worthy of what they believe in. I think that our biggest challenge was ensuring that not only did the team reach the level that we needed to be at to receive these young people, but the program, the agenda, the timing, the food, right? The expectations, the space, the program within the program needed to be up to par, right? I think it's super important for us, and throughout this time frame, one thing that we prioritized was not thinking that we were the prize, right? Not thinking that we were the trophy. It is an absolute honor and a privilege and a dream come true for these these young people to walk into our program, and these parents allow them to do so. So the biggest favor for us is return on investment. Let's make sure when they get here, they understand completely that they were thought about while they were thinking about us.
It's clear that this isn't just the Tim Behling show. This is a group effort. There's a community, there's a board that's involved, and I know that there's so much intentionality that goes into those conversations to make this happen.
Yeah,
How have you crafted a team to do this?
absolutely. I think that one, sometimes you don't need to eat out when you have food at home, right? Successteam has never been an organization that operated based off one person. When you do something bigger than self, you got to understand that you got to craft people and allow them to be a part of the vision, but you also have to give access because their dreams and goals might be a part of the vision that you are blessed with. So luckily, majority of our team members are tenured. This isn't the first time that we're meeting each other. This isn't the first time that we've done this together. This isn't the first accomplishment, the first project that we've been able to craft together. So there's a time, there's a relationship, there's a bond, there's an agreement that has been made amongst every team member within this organization, no matter the position or the placement, that we got to excel in order to really, really make a difference in the lives of our youth. And on the flat end, when we think about the culture that we have, right, that has been laid out, the foundation of understanding that excellence is non-negotiable, and it's the only way that we can be when we welcome new people in. It's really just getting them caught up while also understanding that they fit because the avatar already had a description. So when you think about building something, always have a vision and a comprehension of being able to see the value in others and what they bring to the table. Think about what you need and bring people in on for the ride and allow them to accomplish their dreams and goals within the systems that you've allowed the program to create. I think that anything that is bigger than you comes from God and comes from a bigger place that you can't be selfish with it. Countless hours of meetings, phone calls, virtually, in person, traveling. We would go to different places. The team, the representatives, the boards represent South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina, Texas. There was presence consistently. There was an agreement that, hey, I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do. Of course, I'm going to go to Raleigh, North Carolina and meet with you. Of course, I'm going to go to Charlotte, right, and meet with you. Of course, I can take a trip to Atlanta and meet with you. Of course, I can answer any question that you have. Let's iron it out. Let's position everybody for success. But let's devote time, because if it takes 9 months to have a successful week, at the end of that week, you look back and say it's all worth it. That's all that matters.
How old are you, Tim?
30.
30 years old, Tim, and you're leading an organization like that.
Yeah,
How did you become this person? What inspired that action?
absolutely.
Specifically for Successteam, and how did that mold you into saying things like you just said, man, and leading these dynamic teams?
I think that, my birthday's in April, so I'm a fresh 30. But lived experience is something that it's very, very hard to put it on a resume. But it's very, very easy to showcase through our interactions, right? I am so honored to live the life that I live, and I'm so appreciative that I was chosen to walk the steps along this journey. I'll be honest with you, in the beginning, I did not want these shoes. I wanted to switch them out. I was hoping that somebody else could fit them, but in life, you have to accept the fact that what's for you is for you. And what God wants you to do, that's your purpose. The thing that you don't mind waking up for, the natural thing that you're attracted to, the obedience is what the next step is. If you really truly listening to your heart and being able to accept the fact that whether it looks aesthetically pleasing, attractive, or valuable to you at the time, if you have self-awareness of what and who you're supposed to be, you can start moving forward, and then everything will get easier and life will be good. And throughout my lived experience, man, being raised by my mother, one of the greatest to ever do it, right? Being raised by my grandmother, right? The Rock, right? The first person to show me that you choose what your life is supposed to be. I think that those two women, whenever they look at me, I hope they see their greatest investment and their greatest creation. And I take pride in being able to make them proud. But also too, the experience that comes as you walk day to day, being a first generation college graduate, right? Going to a tech school, going off and graduating from a 4-year university, being able to secure certain positions and jobs that were on the pathway and help me, groom me, all right? I thank every employer that I've ever had, right? Having conversations in community, just being in life and being present in life. That's how we get here. That's what created Tim Behling, is the experiences, the time, and being able to interact with people who, for some odd reason, thought that I could be special. All I wake up every day and try and do is make sure that they're not wrong.
Yesterday, at our event, you shared the moment about being a statistic.
Yeah.
I know that's got to be top of mind when you're working through this Successteam program and
Yeah.
really helping these youth develop.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that? Like, that is a huge motivation for you and
Yeah.
a drive. Talk a little bit about it.
Man, it is very, very true, man. Going back to lived experience, I think that one thing that we're gifted with is relatability to anybody else throughout the next generation. Being a statistic, I mean, to be honest with you, you can't control the cards that you're dealt. But if you play your hand right, you can use it to your advantage. And I'm super honored with the fact that I can relate to a lot of young people that come through our program. I always say that if you want to be in Successteam, some type of way you have my DNA, whether that's biologically, right, or just through love. There's a situation to where when I look at them, I see younger versions of me. And I hope when they look at us as a team, they see older versions of them, right? Your life and all that came with it, all that does, good, bad, right, is allow you to have a conversation and relate to somebody of the next generation, because it's important for anybody to remember that you're not the only human on earth, right? These young people need guidance. These young people yearn for mentorship, but they also have big dreams and big goals. So for us as leaders, the lived experience, why would we take it with us? Like, let's leave everything on the table. Let's give it back to them. Because my definition of a leader is somebody who finds a problem within their own life, develops a solution, and allows everybody else to benefit from it. So, for instance, when I think about being statistic, like, I also think about the stats that they may align with. and how that may make them feel and how possible it is for them to overcome it. And what I needed growing up and what my friends needed growing up and the environment that we wish we grew up in. And the question starts to be birthed of, if we know what's needed, then why can't we provide it?
Right. So good. Let's get specific into the week.
Yeah.
Talked about the preparation. We talked about the expectations.
Yeah.
We've executed now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Finish off this day and a huge day tomorrow.
Yeah.
How's it been?
It's been great. A+ days every day. I can guarantee you that. I'm so proud of the team. I'm so proud of our participants, our young people, our scholars. I'm so proud of our parents for having strength and allowing us to remove their babies from their household. All that, right? I think that's like super, super key. I'm so proud of the board. I'm so proud of our sponsors and partners for seeing who we are and the value that we bring to the table. I'm so thankful for every piece to the puzzle that there was, because without it, this week would not have been so special or what it was, right? And A+ every day. We had a goal. We had dreams. We had expectations. We had objectives. Every day of this week has been A+, from the public speaking practices and challenges that we laid out to them, from the etiquette dinner and allowing them to understand certain concepts, from their curriculum intros and getting them career and college ready, right? From the team building activities and really just allowing them to get to know each other, become comfortable and become one, right? Being able to do certain things that may have been a little switch on the fly, but it made sense because we reacted to them in the most proper way and gave them space to receive and be leaders and also have fun and be creative, right? Even from the fact that we were able to feed them 3 times a day plus snacks and get them the way they needed to be across 2 different campuses. I think it's super, super important. And to think that all of this system being built into a well-oiled machine from one idea back in 2015, and to see the people come into this organization with so much passion, and to make it to the end of this week and nobody want to go home. I'm just so thankful, and it's an honor.
There have been some amazing moments, specifically shared with us already.
Yeah.
And I know you've witnessed some.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about what that was like, seeing these mentors really pouring back into the students and the students accepting it?
Yeah.
And pouring into each other.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like this is a fairy tale. This is a dream. This is the world that everybody should have access to. This is the world I think that everybody wished they lived in. I think that this is the world, when we think about making it a better place, this is the actual realization and bringing it into fruition. This is it. You know, when you wake up in a place that feels like home, that's something that's really, really cool. And to see it, right, to have a young person come in and be a little nervous on day 1, but then on day 3 you see them taking charge and making jokes and having compliments and conversations and starting things and shedding tears and birthing smiles and like really just being happy to be here. I think that is super special. You know, the moments that stand out most are the unexpected ones where you hear a voice that you didn't know was going to speak, right? That is incredible because it catches you by surprise, but then that is also the expectation. That's the goal. That's the win, right? That is when you know you're doing something right, when a voice speaks that you didn't expect to be heard, but you wish that it would be. That's good.
It was very clear that this was a safe space.
Yeah.
When we were going down the hall, I really kind of introed with the young guys.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about what they learned most and what they were excited for, and no joke, 6 out of 6 said the safe space,
Yeah.
the ability to open up with other men and be able to talk about my feelings and cry.
Yeah.
Dude, that is incredible, fostering that type of environment.
Yeah.
What goes into a process like that, a safe space like that?
I think that we have to treat others how we want to be treated. You know, when we think about creating a safe space, I think that that is one of the best times to be selfish and inclusive, right? Be who you needed to be. Be who you needed when you grew up, when you were growing up. Be who you needed when you were growing up, right? Be the person that you wish would have told you good job. Be the person that you wish would have came and saved your day. Be the person that you wish you would have saw right at your basketball games, at your football practices, at your chess club meets, the person who will cheer you on. Be the person that you wanted, all right? But then also think about how you yourself now are in a position to give. I grew up, of course, again, single parent household. Like I know my mother, I know my grandmother, but I don't know my father. So honestly, you know, when we think about creating a safe space for men who can open up, all we're really doing is giving them something that they should already have, right? There is no place in life for a man who doesn't think that love exists or doesn't know how powerful it is to be able to be vulnerable in a space where love does exist. Men need other men. Boys need men. Men are so important, right? But at the same time, I think that there's a stigma on what a man is. And some definitions are true. But I will say that one thing about being a man, my definition of a man is somebody who is present, right? And being present, it ultimately opens the door to you having, right? To be relatable, to be open, to be truthful, genuine, and show who you truly are. So when I think about the person that I needed growing up, the father figure that I wish I knew, and I see these young men honestly looking a little like me at that age, my only answer is to give them what I wish I had.
That's powerful, man.
Yeah.
In the same vein, the young women in this program, I'm going to replace this battery real quick.
Okay.
Dude, this ain't Kessler down with all the camera bags.
Okay. It's cool.
I want to honor your time, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump into the same side.
Mm-hmm.
The young women talked about the empowerment.
Yeah.
And all of that in a similar safe space, but
Yeah.
it's really a lot more specifically about
Yeah.
empowering.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. I think that it's really, really important for our young ladies to be reminded how powerful they are and for them to have rooms and voices that tell them how great they can be. To be honest with you, when I see these young ladies, I honestly think about how great of a feeling I had of love from my mother and my grandmother. So my respect for women overall is super, super high because they raised me and they made me who I am. But then also too, I think that a lot of times the voice from women is so present that we forget how important it is to have that masculine voice also be in the room and provide an empowering word. I think that our young ladies should grow up in a world where they don't fear their counterparts. I think that our young ladies should grow up in a world where they can feel love and have romantic and platonic relationships that make sense but help guide them, right? And they feel safe within. I think that creating a safe space of empowerment for our young ladies is really just allowing them a safe space where they could be themselves amongst each other, right? Understand love, understand their own value, but then be in a space to where they can also create relationships with their sisters. and create bonds that communicate confidence and ability and value and stability and longevity, right? I think that our young ladies deserve to be in spaces that deserve to be of their presence. They need to be there. And as a collective, we need to be there for them to always feel what they need to be felt.
You got an answer for everything, bro.
Hey, man. It's when it's genuine, you don't have to make things up. Um, Success Team, Success Team is the only story that I have. Um, this is what my life is. This is my purpose. And if this is gonna be my only story, then we're gonna do it to the best of our ability.
Pause. What I'm Tim, you've had a phenomenal week, man.
Yeah.
Lots of impact, lots of change, lots of students that are going to leave here a completely different person.
Yeah.
Not only for themselves, but for everybody else that they can impact.
Yeah.
How do you feel, and what are you excited for about tomorrow when it comes to that graduation?
I think that I'm most excited that that's not the last tomorrow we'll have with them. This was their member orientation. And what we've successfully done is create anticipation for the next time that we meet. We don't end, right? They stay with us until they graduate high school. So of course we celebrate them for accomplishing the end of a week, but the accomplishment, right? The close of one chapter and just the flip of a page to the next. Our scholars, they're here to stay. They're Success Team forever. They're Success Team family. They're Success Team Youth Council. And tomorrow, we celebrate the start of a new forever. I'm most excited of the fact that I get a chance to see them continue to grow and continue to blossom and continue to iron out these relationships that will last for a lifetime. Always Success Team, always a scholar, always family. And everything. Thank you to SRP Federal Credit Union. Thank you to Gerald Jones Subaru. Thank you to Family Financial Consultants for partnering with us to make a difference in the lives of our youth. We appreciate you.
That's
That's
it,
it,
bro.
man. We good.
Boom.